Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to call to order this Tuesday study session of the Pierce County Council. It is Tuesday, October the 8th, 2024. Time is 12:02 p.m. All members are present except for Councilmember Krueger, who is excused. For item number 2, review of today's council meeting agenda. Ms. Long, good afternoon.
All right, thank you and good afternoon. This is your regular council agenda for this afternoon. It is amended. Now, we did review the consent agenda yesterday during study session and there are no changes. So unless you have any questions, I'll move on. So under section 7, you do have one presentation, and that is the Tacoma Public Utilities presentation with Rosa McLeod from TPU. There are no resolutions on your agenda, so we'll look at section 9 ordinances. You have 2 ordinances this afternoon. The first is O 2024-549S, and this is granting a non-exclusive franchise to the city of Bonnie Lake for the location of water lines. This received a due pass as substituted recommendation at EIDC on September 24th. The next is O 2024-551S, and this is granting non-exclusive franchise to the Cayuga Beach Water System for the location of water lines. And this also received a due pass as substituted recommendation at EIDC on September 24th. And those are your agenda items for this afternoon's meeting.
Thank you. Any questions about this afternoon's 3 p.m. regular meeting? Not seeing any. We're at item number 3, external boards and commissions. I'm going to call on our Deputy Chief of Staff to begin the conversation as always.
All right, good afternoon. Just one item to note relative to Puget Sound Regional Council this week, Transportation Policy Board. The Policy Board meets this Thursday, October the 10th, at the regular time. 4 items just to identify for the council today. First is an action item, which is the recommended adoption of the PSRC's 2025 through 2028 Regional Transportation Improvement Program. That's different than the Regional Transportation Plan. It's analogous to our TIP locally. So it's periodically updated, as is our local TIP. So that's the action item. And then there are 3 discussion items that I've identified at prior briefings for different boards. So the first is discussion of the recommendations to the 2025 Washington State Legislature. These would be the PSRC's recommendations for legislative action for the next session. There'll be an update on the Regional Safety Action Plan development. This is the regional plan that covers the same material as our local Vision Zero action plan that's in the work will cover. And then lastly, there'll be an update on the Regional Transportation Plan development process, which I've briefed out previously to council. That's all that I have on PSRC for today.
Any questions for Mr. Taylor? Thank you. Do other members have any external boards and commission to update on? I'll just share, and I'll ask Councilmember Denson to pick up where I leave off. We both attended the South Sound Housing Affordability Partners Executive Board meeting this last Friday. And a really great meeting. It was, they tried to do one meeting in person. Most meetings are virtual for the South Sound Housing Affordability Partners Board. We were in Fife, at Fife City Hall. Mayor Roscoe chairs the SHAPE Board at this time, and a number of really good discussions. One of the more robust discussions was about the state legislative agenda for South Sound Housing Affordability Partners. A number of items very consistent with our adopted housing action strategy around preserving existing affordable housing, more tools to support affordable home ownership and other affordable housing tools. One of the more robust conversations we had about the state legislative agenda was about a property tax exemption for veterans with a disability status. So that conversation will continue. There's been a bill for the last many years in our state legislature to try to give an exemption, a property tax exemption to veterans with at least a 70% disability rating or greater, regardless of income. So the debate was, regardless of income, should we, this in Washington, give veterans a property tax exemption regardless of income? So that was the interesting conversation. One that will continue. The SHAPE board adopted a legislative agenda that says, yes, we should, to be clear, provide a property tax exemption to recognize the service of veterans with a disability, with a really high disability rating. So there's other items in the state legislative agenda. I've sent it to our staff to determine what from the agenda we can call to include in ours for consistency and amplification. So, and I can send it to others who might be interested. Councilmember Denson stayed for the duration of the meeting, at which there was a tour of the Fife Jobs Program. And I know I spoke to Councilmember Denson afterwards, and she said it was very interesting, a lot of the work we're trying to do here. Councilmember Denson, do you mind adding to how that tour went and what we learned?
Not at all. And I definitely encourage my colleagues to tour this program if they have an opportunity. So I don't even know where to begin. This program is amazing. I've heard about it for a while. Sometimes when I'm on the homeless calls on Friday morning, some of you sit in occasionally. I've heard the individual that runs this program talk about it, and I've heard about it from other case managers. In fact, we did the point in time count. I think I was with most of you last year. Tricia Munson, the case outreach person who was with us, was speaking really highly of it. So I was excited to see it. So basically, it is a tiny home village for unhoused individuals in the area. While they are in the village, they have to be clean and sober. So there are definitely some different criteria that they lay out for these folks. It's just been incredibly successful. They are employed with their parks department. So they are learning job skills. They're learning everything from the landscaping and the tool use and all of that to some of the softer skills with communication and, you know, working with others and all of that. They're dressed the same as the parks employees. You can't tell one from the other. So they have a lot of dignity. They're earning wages. It's amazing. And then they also receive, like I mentioned, a lot of classes to help them move forward up and out of the temporary housing to more permanent, affordable housing in the community. So I was just so impressed. It reminded me somewhat of some of the tiny home villages that we see in Tacoma and around the area. I think there was maybe 30, 35 individuals that were living and employed in this tiny home village. And it struck me that this is a village in a city. So it's the type of program that would have qualified or would qualify for that $2.5 million we have for tiny home villages. It's in a city. Maybe they might have wanted to respond or to expand, or maybe another city would like to model off of their very successful program that they've had going for several years now. They have just amazing success stories for folks that have come in, gotten whatever help they needed in regards to substance abuse or mental health issues that they're working through, or none of the above. I mean, it's a variety of individuals just like we see everywhere, and then get employed or stay employed with the city in this case and move into permanent housing. And then the other cool thing that we did was visited 2 affordable housing developments, but they're market rate affordable housing developments. And Councilmember Campbell may be able to help me with the names. I know they were Pinnacle Point and Pinnacle something else. They're hotels or motels that have been converted, but instead of what we often hear about, where hotels are converted by a nonprofit affordable housing developer, which is great, these were converted by a for-profit housing developer. This is what they do. And the fact that they are, basically studio apartments, they're hotel rooms, they're small, they've been completely redone, but they're just hotel rooms. I mean, they're small. And so naturally, because of the size, they're affordable. And they've gotten some, like one of them had a memorandum of understanding with the Veterans Department. So they have, I think, 19 units that are reserved for veterans. And then, of course, the individual that runs the jobs program was excited to talk to them to try and get some units reserved in one of the two buildings for the individuals that are graduating from the job program. But I thought it was really interesting. And this developer, it's called Sage Development. They also have at least one, maybe two of the motels on Hosmer as well. So it's kind of a neat mix where you have affordable housing, nonprofits, you've got for-profits that are affordable just by the nature of the size of the units that are working together, and they're very invested in the community. Mayor Roscoe from Fife just couldn't say enough at how this has brought up the neighborhood and improved the look of Fife and improved safety in Fife. And it's just been a great collaboration. I would be happy to take questions and I could try and think of everything that we talked about, but I came away just really excited about how innovative this partnership was and how successful it's been.
Thank you, Councilmember Denson. Any questions about the South Sound Housing Affordability Partners board meeting and that tour that we did afterwards? And this is in Vice Chair Campbell's district. Suspect he knows a lot about it. Councilmember Denson and I wasn't able to stay, but Councilmember Denson was able to appreciate how amazing the work is. Many of us have been hearing a lot about it. Vice Chair Campbell?
It is yet another example in this county of a tiny home village that is getting people from homelessness into permanent housing. We have many successful models and we need more.
Thank you. Luckily, the $2.5 million remains in our budget, and we're going to be able to tag it as ARPA interest to not have it subject to the obligation deadline by the end of the year, so that we can keep the dollars available to help encourage these kinds of projects and more that are very, very successful. So we still have resources available, and I anticipate this council keeping those dollars available to help continue what's going well and replicate what's going well. So looking forward to supporting those projects with our continued dollars. Any other external boards and commissions? Updates? Not seeing any. We're at Chair's Topics, and it's the time of year where we pause and really appreciate the amazing contributions, especially the longstanding contributions of staff of Pierce County, and in particular, staff of the Office of the Pierce County Council. The annual employee recognition banquet is tomorrow evening in Lakewood at Clover Park Technical College. And so the entire county family will be assembling to really recognize just the amazing contributions of many, many years of public service of so many public servants. So that will be happening tomorrow evening. It will be web streamed for those that aren't able to make it in person. Those who are able to make it in person, you can see the amazing basket that our chief of staff put together. That looks really fun and really awesome for an amazing cook in the county family. But we do have some individuals that will be recognized at the employee recognition ceremony tomorrow evening. And we wanted to take a moment, pause, and say thank you for the many contributions you make to the work of the Office of the County Council. As I look at the years of service, I'm understanding that this is really marking from last year. So the moment in time is from last year. So they've done even more service than last year. For example, two of our colleagues here are being recognized for 5 years of dedicated service, and they are Councilmembers Morell and Vice Chair Campbell for 5 years of service, whether you like it or not.
Did your last boss give you one of these?
Well-
My last boss didn't.
I don't know, it was a hard no. This is the longest I've ever stayed employed. Plus, I didn't have gray hair or white hair.
Employed by someone else. That
Yeah,
is.
employed by someone else. Yeah.
Um,
Thank you.
Councilmembers Morell, Councilmembers Campbell, thank you for your many contributions. We have staff members here who have also given significant contributions. They include Judy Hurley, Councilmember Morel's council assistant. Councilmember Morel, I'm going to give this to you to give to the amazing Judy Hurley, who not only supports you, Councilmember Morel, but so many of us witness Judy pitching in here, supporting new council assistants to learn the job. She supports the rest of the office of the county council, whenever asked to support projects and initiatives that are going on. She's always very gracious and has an extremely positive attitude to help whoever's in the office, in addition to the many responsibilities you have her on, Councilmember Morel. So our gratitude to Judy's professionalism and attitude and pitching in to support the office. Other staff members include Audrey Persons. Audrey, for 5 years of dedicated service to the county council. Could we give this to you, Audrey?
Thank you.
We'll be recognizing you tomorrow evening as well, but we're grateful to have this opportunity to give this token of recognition to you. Audrey, you've stepped in and grown as a professional. I've been here for close to 4 years. Councilmembers Morel and Campbell have been here for your entire tenure here in the office of the county council. And you've grown in responsibility. You are often the go-to person. You always say yes. You always figure it out. You're often one of the first ones here and the last ones to leave. And we always know that when you're given a task, no matter the complexity, it's always going to get done and get done right. And we know we rely on you for so many important tasks to keep us moving here. So we're grateful for your knowledge and your commitment to public service. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
We have 2 other longstanding council staff here. The next for 15 years of public service to the office of the county council in a couple of different roles. One, staffing a member of the county council, and now on our policy staff, mostly supporting the work of the Economic and Infrastructure Development Committee. And that's for Tom Swanson, 15 years of committed service. Tom, thank you for your commitment, your knowledge, your expertise. You are always eager to help. Many of us go to you for requests for projects and policy initiatives. I know Mr. Taylor relies on you to take on a growing portfolio of work as Mr. Taylor moves into different responsibilities on behalf of the county council. So thank you for supporting the policy team. Thank you for supporting Mr. Taylor and especially the work of the Economic and Infrastructure Development Committee. You're often given complicated tasks to take on and not straightforward tasks. Thank you for your willingness to always dig in and support our harebrained ideas and sometimes our straightforward ideas. So thank you very much. The last team member that we want to recognize this afternoon together is Susan Long. And that is our longstanding chief legal counsel. Susan, I'm not sure if you had different roles here. I've always known you as chief legal counsel for the Office of the County Council. Perhaps you've had other roles that I'm not aware of. 35 years of dedicated service to the county council. Susan,
Thank you so much.
thank you. I'll soon open it up to if there's other remarks from members. Susan, you hold so much institutional knowledge for this body. You keep us on the right track. We save so much time and energy by going to you with countless questions that you don't have to go and look up and think about. You have it often at the tip of your tongue and your knowledge base. You are the consummate professional. So many of us trust you with confidential information, go to you to brainstorm about a legislative problem or an idea. And you just demonstrated your amazing commitment to public service, spending almost your entire career here in public service to better our work. And we're better for your work. We're so grateful that you chose to spend your life, your career here in public service. So thank you
Yeah,
for your
thank you.
commitment. How's about a
Set of gratitude to all these.
Again, these team members and others will be recognized, especially those extremely long-standing public servants will be called out in particular
Thank you.
at tomorrow evening's recognition event at Clover Park. You know, having a mix of service, new ideas, new team members, long-standing team members, it really takes all kinds to do this work. We are better for having smart, capable, committed public servants to do this work. And we're very, very grateful that you choose to give your time and talents to public service. Are there any other comments by my colleagues before we move on? Councilmember Morel.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And anytime I have to compliment Ms. Hurley, Judy, is my honor to do that. Most of you don't know that Judy's has run my other companies for 26 years. She knows me. She knows my strengths, my weaknesses, and she knows how to read my shorthand. And she is just been a wonderful asset. Actually, when I got elected, I didn't even ask her until the last couple minutes after I'd looked at a couple resumes. And I just made the comment, boy, I sure wish you were coming with me. She went home, talked it over with her husband and said, I'm available. So I said, fill out a resume and here we go. But it is very important that in her position, as all the council members know, to have trust in that person. And also, my key is to hire people that are smarter than me. And she has definitely learned a lot about government coming from the private sector, good and bad. But it's been, like I say, my honor to have her with me for these past 5 years and hopefully a couple more. But CAs definitely earn their keep, and a good one, you hang on to them. Thank you.
Thank you for those remarks and notations, Councilmember Morel. Any other remarks? Look, again, so many of you could make so much more money in the private sector, and that you choose to give your career to public service. We really are better for it, and we're grateful for everything you contribute. How you are patient with all of us. You have 7 very different members that you all serve in different capacities. You do it with grace and professionalism and often patience. And we're grateful for your professionalism and your hard work on our behalf. Truly, thank you. We look forward to recognizing other members of the county family tomorrow evening. So members of the public can tune into that as well. We're at item number 5, other business. We're going to turn to our communications manager and public information officer, Mr. Dominique, for our weekly update.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the council. That's a hard one to follow, but I'll try my best. I just have a few quick updates for you, and for the record, Brian Dominique, county council staff. We have several recognitions that I'm going to be adding to our proclamations and recognitions calendar. We have several judges from Superior Court who are going to be retiring this year. Representative Derek Kilmer is also retiring. And once I have more on this, I'll send out the requests for sponsorship for those. Turning to staff, Jair is planning to be back in the office next week, so we'll be happy to have him back. So he's doing well. And with him coming back, I do anticipate we'll be able to bring back our daily news summary. And on that, at the beginning of the year, we purchased a service called Critical Mention. I wanted to provide an update to the council on that. That has been working very well for us, specifically in terms of getting more reach and exposure for our news releases. Our news releases have been getting picked up quite a bit more than they were prior to this, because this has expanded our reach. So just wanted to share that purchase has been working well for my team, and I'm happy to have it. And then we have 2 more in-district meetings left this year. My team will be supporting those. So wanted to give the council an update on that. That's all I have.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Dominique, Councilmember Denson?
Yes, thanks, Jerry. I just wanted to thank Mr. Dominique. He was really instrumental in helping to promote a fentanyl town hall that we had last night. And it was standing room only. I mean, we used every single chair that we could find. We were dragging them into the council chambers in Gig Harbor. I don't even know how many people were there, but it was packed. It was packed. And a number of people said that they had heard about it on the news, which Mr. Dominique organized. So thank you so much for that. It was a really tough night, and it was good. We educated a lot of people. We trained people to use Narcan. They each got a Narcan kit. We heard some really sad stories, but we talked about it in the community, which is what needed to happen. So thank you.
Your town hall focused on fentanyl, just to connect some dots for those who
Sorry.
are listening. It's
Yeah.
okay. You had a town hall focused on fentanyl. Thank you for lifting that up and bringing some resources to the 7th District. Any other questions for Mr. Dominique? Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other business by members before we move into 2 executive sessions? Not seeing any. Ms. Long, any other business before we move into executive session?
No, thank you.
Ms. Long, to state the purpose of the executive sessions, please.
Yes, the first is authorized by RCW 4230-110-1I. The purpose is to discuss with legal counsel matters of pending or potential litigation to which the county is or may become a party, and to which public knowledge of the discussion is likely to result in an adverse legal or financial consequence to the county. And for this, the time estimate is a half hour. And so if you'd state the time, Mr. Chair, at which you'll return, and there will be one additional executive session following that on a different topic.
Can we
We can roll them in
can we roll?
together. Yeah. Okay, so the second one is to under the same RCW subsection G to evaluate the qualifications of an applicant for public employment or to review the performance of a public employee. Also pursuant to the statute, discussion by the council of salaries, wages, or other conditions of employment generally applied shall be occurred in a meeting open to the public. And when the governing body elects to take action hiring, setting salaries of an individual employee or class, or discharging or disciplining an employee, that action shall be done in a meeting open to the public. And so I'll let you call the time on that one.
I know there's other activities going on this afternoon. But let's go to 1:30 for the purposes of both of these executive sessions.
And then again, the only item after both executive sessions is adjournment for the public.
Thank you. So we'll be in recess for the purposes of executive session until 1:30, at which point we anticipate coming back to adjourn. We'll be in recess for executive session. Well, the time is 1:33. The council is back from its executive sessions. Seeing no other business before the Pierce County Council and Tuesday study session, we are adjourned.